welcome back to Non-Stop Kids Entertainment TV. My name is Rebecca and you're joining me in my garden today because it is absolutely glorious weather and I've spent the last couple of days doing nothing but gardening, which gave me some inspiration for this week's recipe. Something I've been growing myself actually in my own garden, some rhubarb. So we're going to be doing a rhubarb crumble today. I think you guys will really enjoy this one. So let's get started, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you've all had a great week. So to get started, I've got 3 sticks of rhubarb that I picked myself from my garden, 3 gala apples, 100 grams of unsalted butter, 175 grams of plain flour, 40 grams of caster sugar, and 85 grams of demerara sugar. For equipment, we're going to be needing a bowl, a wooden spoon, and a baking dish. You can use one of these glass ones that look all pretty, or you can use these standard white china ones. Don't forget to wash your hands and preheat your oven to 180 degrees. Next, I'm just going to grab my chopping board and start peeling my apple. I used gala apples for this, but you can use whatever apples you want. If you use green apples though, be sure to add a bit more sugar because they're a bit sharper than red apples. Now I'm going to start chopping up my apple. Depending on what texture you want in your crumble, depends on how much you boil your apples. So if you're intending to have a really soft crumble, it doesn't really matter what size or what shape you chop your apples into, just as long as they're relatively consistent. But if you do want your crumble to have a bit more texture, you can cut your pieces slightly larger with a bit more consistency and then cook them for a little less time. It's completely up to you. Fun fact, there are over 8,000 different types of apples. That is the largest variety of fruit to exist. That would also be a lot of apple crumbles. I'm just finishing up my chopping and putting it all in my baking tray just to rest for a second. You can also use cherries, strawberries, many different types of fruit for the crumble if you prefer. Now I'm just getting started with peeling my rhubarb, and as you can see I'm using the same peelers I used for my apple and having great difficulty doing so. After I was done peeling, I grabbed my knife and just chopped up my rhubarb into even slices. Just like the apple, depending on what texture you want your crumble to be, it depends on how big you make your slices right now. So do them as you please. Now, I don't know about you all watching at home, but when I was younger, I always loved cooking with my mum. Cookies, cakes, or even a Sunday lunch, I always used to like helping out. And my mum, as you can see, is helping me out with this recipe. Using a knife to peel rhubarb is much easier, but obviously if you're a younger viewer, stick with the peelers. But if like me, you've got a parent or guardian to help you, bring them into the kitchen, grab them off their seats. If they're watching TV, just go and get them and say, "Mum, Dad, I need your help with this." And you can both enjoy cooking together. We want to clean up our area, then grab our rhubarb and apple from earlier and a saucepan, and then put our fruit in the saucepan. Is rhubarb a fruit? I'll have to find that out. Put that on a low heat, giving it a stir every now and then. As you can see, loads of water is coming out of the apple and the rhubarb. That's exactly what we want to see. While we're waiting for that, we can prepare our crumble mix. So grab your bowl, put in the flour, the demerara sugar, and the butter. Now taking nice clean well washed hands, We want to blend all of those ingredients together. I need you to use your fingers for this part, as you can really get in there and rub the butter into the flour and sugar. Keep going until you create breadcrumbs. Not forgetting about our stovetop fruit, we want to add in our sugar. Now I'm only using sugar because I'm using rhubarb, and rhubarb is very bitter. If you were just using apple, you wouldn't need the sugar. As you can see, all of my butter, sugar and flour has been combined into this breadcrumb consistency. And we're just going to set that aside for one moment. And like I said earlier, it depends on you what kind of consistency you want, but I'm very happy with this, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to take it off the heat and grab my baking dish from earlier and put all of that mixture in there. And smooth it so that it's nice and even and has a flat at top as I can get it. This part would be easier if you left it on the heat for a little bit longer. But like I said, I'm kind of happy having the texture of the fruit within the crumble. I find it gives a nice crunch every now and then. So I'm taking my crumble topping and I'm just going to sprinkle that on. You can use as much or as little of this as you like, but I really like a lot of crumble topping. Pouring all of mine on. And I'm just going to push it around with my fingers to create as flat a top as possible so that it bakes nice and evenly. Talking of baking, we're just going to take that and put it in the oven for about 20 minutes or until the top has turned golden brown. For topping, you can use ice cream, cream, or even the range of fruit that you used in the crumble. It's completely up to you to make it as pretty, as fantastic as you want. You can even add sweets like M&Ms or 100,000s. And there we have it, your apple and rhubarb crumble is complete, or whatever fruit you used if you decided to use something different from mine. Like I said, you can use whatever you like. Feel free to give this recipe 2, 3, 4 times with a different fruit each time so that you find whatever flavour is your favourite. As you can see, I decorated mine with 2 slices of apple and some white chocolate ice cream because that's my favourite. But like I said, be creative and put whatever toppings you want on. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe and I can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye bye!